I was reborn on the day Jason Miller proposed to me. The chronic stomach pain I'd developed from irregular meals and sleep deprivation during my corporate years still lingered. That fateful day at the office when the sharp pain struck. I'd casually popped antacids as usual. But the agony intensified until I collapsed. Colleagues rushed me to the hospital where I received the devastating diagnosis: stage 4 gastric cancer. This bombshell came days after learning I was pregnant. Clutching my abdomen, I stumbled home to find designer heels in the foyer and lingerie scattered across the living room floor. My trembling hands pushed open the bedroom door to witness my husband of 3 years, Jason, entangled with my closest confidant Emily. During our confrontation, Jason shoved me. My head smashed against the table corner as excruciating pain tore through my womb. I felt my child slipping away before darkness consumed me. Now staring at the same proposal scene, nausea overwhelmed me. Jessica, marry me? Jason held up that ridiculous twist tie ring from snack packaging. I swear to love you forever or be struck by lightning. How had I ever been moved by this charlatan? The man who later gifted Emily those coveted designer heels I couldn't afford. I'll think about it. I shrugged, turning back to the mindless TV drama. Jason's face darkened. You've been begging me to propose. Plans change. I countered. I'm meeting Emmy tonight. I fled before he could protest. Wandering streets. I called home. Mom's voice cracked with emotion until Dad's roar interrupted. Tell her she's dead to us if she stays with that Miller boy. Their warnings about distant marriages and needing family support echoed painfully now. I'm leaving Jason, I blurted. Mom immediately promised my favorite meatballs. I hung up before tears betrayed me. Returning to our dim apartment, Jason loomed on the couch. Emily said you never met her today. Oh. I feigned innocence. Something private came up. Mom called about our $3 million property settlement. Let the games begin. The words made Jason slide right off the couch. How much? $3 million? He pulled Jessica into his arms. This is incredible. I've got $3 million now. Jessica nearly vomited, not just from Jason's nauseating presence, but the sheer audacity of his greed. Since when did her family's hypothetical property development compensation become his windfall? Patting his back, Jessica murmured. I couldn't discuss this with outsiders earlier. That's why I didn't invite Em this afternoon. Jason blurted. Em's not an outsider, he caught himself, hastily adding. She's your closest friend. Practically family. Jessica pretended obliviousness, nodding before excusing herself to shower. Under the scalding spray, she scrubbed her skin raw to erase the memory of his touch. Emerging from the bathroom, she found Jason whispering on the balcony, the same suspicious behavior she naively excused in their past life as client calls. Now she knew better. He was coordinating with Emily, the traitor she'd once considered a sister. Spotting her, Jason fumbled his phone. Jessica. You're done. I was just talking to a client? Jessica finished sweetly. No need to explain. His relieved grin made her stomach churn. My sweet Jessica. I'll reward you properly in bed tonight. His wink nearly made her retch. That night, Jessica feigned sleep until his groping hands jolted her awake. Her slap cracked through the darkness. Oh God. I'm so sorry, I was half asleep. Rubbing his cheek, Jason switched tactics instantly. My fault entirely. Did you hurt your hand? Jessica conjured 2 delicate tears. Let's just sleep. I'm exhausted. Next morning, Jessica visited the bank after Jason left for work. Her savings, $300,000 from years of scrimping and side jobs, would never convince him of sudden wealth. She needed reinforcements. Ethan raised an eyebrow across the cafe table. Loan purpose? He studied her hesitation. How've you been? Fine, the lie withered under his gaze. Funding some man's lifestyle? God no. Spending on men brings lifetime curses. Jessica's cheeks burned, she'd essentially cursed her past self. Ethan's lips twitched. How much? $1 million. Done. As relief flooded her, his pen paused. The Miller boy still thinks cornfields make him Rockefeller? Jessica froze. Ethan leaned forward. Voice dropping. My cousin works at Jason's firm. That client he keeps whispering to? Emily's been his mistress since college. The world tilted. All those years funding Jason's business trips. Ethan slid documents across the table, bank statements, hotel receipts, even a lease for Emily's apartment. Your money paid for this. Numbness gave way to cold fury. Ethan tapped the loan papers. This isn't financing their affair. It's gathering evidence. His smile turned razor sharp. Unless you'd rather keep playing the fool? Jessica signed with trembling hands. The game had changed. Ethan Chen nodded. All right. I got it. I have things to do. I'm leaving now. Before Jessica could even say thanks, he'd already exited the cafe. Having connections really pays off. The next morning, Jessica received a text alerting her to $1 million deposit in her account. Jason Miller had become unusually attentive lately. The man who once left dirty soup bowls for days was suddenly doing household chores. Jessica baby. I finished all the chores. Am I awesome? He gazed at her expectantly. Jessica suppressed a gag. In her past life, she'd slaved for 8 years without recognition. Yet here he was acting like some domestic hero after mere days. Wow. Jason's amazing. The best boyfriend ever. Jessica chirped. Don't I deserve a reward? He wheedled. His ulterior motives practically smacked her in the face. Sure, his grin widened. You can hang the laundry you just washed. The smile transferred from his face to hers as he swallowed his irritation. Jessica baby. He tried again later. Commuting's exhausting. Let's buy a car. Jessica feigned hesitation. But we can't afford it. Your family just got $30 million from demolition compensation. That's my parents' money. Yours eventually. His eyes glittered. Jessica mimicked shock. Dad said he'd disown me if I stay with you. He'd rather donate every cent. Jason's expression soured, regretting his earlier advice to sever family ties. Then get pregnant. They'll forgive you for their grandchild. Jessica recoiled internally. Dad would break our legs. We'd still get nothing. What then? He roared, timing it perfectly. Jessica teared up. I'll beg Mom. Don't yell. You're scaring me. He pulled her into a hug. Sorry, baby. I'd never hurt you. Jessica pinched her thigh to cry harder, letting him comfort her with steamed sea bass, his favorite. Though she loathed fish. Days later, Emily Brown dragged Jessica shopping. Jess. I've missed you. Her fake sweetness made Jessica's skin crawl. Remembering her in her bed with Jason. Noticing her designer heels, the ones Jason denied Jessica, she chirped. Emmy. Those are gorgeous. Jason said they were too pricey. She preened. My boyfriend insisted. Jessica smiled, mentally calculating how Jason's $3,000 per month salary afforded $8,000 shoes, with her money he'd claimed was for a broken vase. Trash. Both of them. But Emily didn't want Jason, she just craved stealing what was Jessica's. Jessica Wilson and I met in college as dorm mates. She knew little about my family beyond surface details. Despite her polished appearance, Emily came from modest means with multiple younger siblings still in school, leaving her financially unsupported. Yet she reveled in impersonating wealthy heiresses, basking in male attention and female envy while deriving pleasure from poaching others' possessions, a psychological distortion, if you will. My family was comfortably upper middle class by dorm standards. My father served as hospital director while my mother worked as school administrator. Rebellious by nature, I became Emily's prime target after she learned about my background. Throughout college, 3 consecutive boyfriends I dated ended up becoming her simps. I blamed my poor taste in men, never suspecting her manipulations. Emily frequently borrowed my cosmetics and clothes, relishing classmates' backhanded compliments about how items looked better on her. Jessica. She chirped during our recent encounter. Jason mentioned your family received $30 million from the property seizure settlement? I smirked. True. But you know how strained things are. I barely convinced Mom to transfer 1 million recently. Keep this quiet, I want to surprise Jason. Her eyes lit up. Let's go shopping. Normally we frequented mid-range stores, occasionally splurging on Chanel lipsticks. Today, Emily dragged me into luxury boutiques without hesitation. Wrap these up, she demanded, pointing at a $30,000 ensemble. The sales associate eyed Emily's designer knockoffs and my casual wear skeptically. Total comes to $30,000. Certain about this purchase? Who do you think you're judging? Emily snapped. My bestie's loaded. Time for my act. I pulled her aside whispering. My funds haven't cleared yet. Her smile froze. But your mom transferred, the transfer's delayed. I lied. Humiliation crimsoning her neck. Emily stormed out muttering about horrible service. Days later, I showed Jason my doctored bank statement displaying the deposited million. Can I get the car now? He beamed, puckering up. My facial mask blocked his slobbery advance. We'll start with something modest, $30,000. His disappointment vanished at free car prospects. At the dealership, I registered the $35,000 vehicle under my name. Why's your name on the title? Jason grumbled, feigning hurt. I threatened cancellation until he backtracked. Let him complain, he'd stay compliant, eyeing the remaining $29 million. Emily's subsequent shopping invitations met polite refusals. No more funding her vanity projects. The final scene found me lounging contentedly, savoring twin victories over the gold-digging duo. Sweetheart, can you lend me $10? 000? Jessica asked with feigned concern. What's wrong, Jason? Did something urgent happen? I played along, watching Jason fidget uncomfortably. He scratched his nose, his telltale sign of lying. Just helping my childhood buddy with his business cash flow. You know how it is. I nearly laughed. Same old lie he'd used last time before blowing my money on Emily's designer shopping sprees. Of course. I smiled sweetly, transferring the funds. His phone chimed, Alipay notification, $10. 000 received. You're the best, babe. He planted a sloppy kiss on my cheek. Gotta go business trip tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Business trip. Right. The day after tomorrow was Emmy's birthday. My fingers tightened around my phone as he left. The same phone containing screenshots of their X-rated chats and financial fraud evidence from his work computer. 2 hours later, I accessed his desktop through the spyware installed weeks prior. Spreadsheets detailing his boss's embezzlement schemes glared back, all signed Jason Miller in bold letters. The idiot actually thought handling dirty money would earn him a promotion. Creating a new WeChat account named Jess's Mom. I used middle-aged floral aesthetics for the profile. He accepted instantly. Hello Jason. This is Jessica's mother. I sent a cheesy good afternoon gif with dancing sunflowers. We're doing great. Mrs. Wilson. Jess keeps talking about marriage. His reply made me snort. What a load of bullshit. Our family's $3 million inheritance, I typed slowly, baiting the hook. Oh yes. Jess mentioned it. His response came lightning fast. My husband requires repayment of all loans before considering wedding plans. Absolutely. I swear on my life. I'll love only Jessica forever. His digital pinky promise included sparkle emojis Emmy frequently used. I waited precisely 113 seconds before he video called. Babe. Your mom wants us married. Jason's pixelated excitement turned my stomach. Oh no. I gasped dramatically. I told her not to mention the. Never mind. I hung up mid-sentence. He came home that night, reeking of airport vodka. Missed you so much. His clammy hands wandered until I sneezed away. Later in bed, he prodded, what weren't you supposed to tell me? Dad insists you repay everything first. I let tears wobble my voice. No problem. He jumped up, tripping over Emmy's forgotten lace thong peeking from his suitcase. I'll transfer it all tomorrow. I smiled into the darkness, already drafting the lawsuit. The spyware had captured every cent he'd stolen, including the loan memo I'd embedded in that $10,000 transfer. Soon, both Jason and Emmy would learn what happened when you played games with a Wilson. When Jason heard this, his face darkened. He wasn't unaware of the expenses over the years. It had always been my money funding our lifestyle. Yet his $300 ego and freeloader mentality made him conveniently ignore every penny spent. To this day, his buddies still believe he's the breadwinner supporting a spendthrift girlfriend. In my past life, I dismissed it as harmless male bravado among friends. Now, sheer idiocy. That smug bastard Jason got to play hero while draining my accounts. 5 years of dating expenses plus his earlier loans easily totaled $200,000. Your mom actually said that? I blinked innocently. Why would I lie? Don't you trust me? My lip quivered on cue. Jason scrambled to apologize. No wonder Emily enjoyed playing the damsel. A few tears could tame any man. He tossed restlessly all night while I slept like royalty. Next morning, I messaged Jason's burner account mid-meeting. Predictable grandpa tear sticker, good morning. Morning, Mrs. Wilson. He replied instantly, why work for peanuts when schmoozing my parents promised millions? After laying the trap about repaying $200,000 to prove his capability, I waited. Greed won. That evening, Jason arrived spewing saccharine nonsense. Jessica, I'm doing this purely out of love. Money means nothing compared to us. I nearly cringed through the floorboards. Had I really fallen for this drivel before? The wire transfer confirmation, $200K repaid, flashed on my screen. Phase 1 complete. Baby, when do I meet your parents? Jason pressed. Already practicing his mooching face. Soon. I smiled. Let the leech starve a while. Meanwhile, Emily's scandalous DM screenshots with Jason went viral on her university forum. Grad student/campus sweetheart exposed as homewrecker. I left my profile visible, inviting the storm. Simultaneously, I emailed Jason's CEO proof of his financial fraud. They came screeching in that evening, Emily weeping theatrically. Jason red-faced, how dare you ruin Emmy's reputation? I shrugged. Stating facts isn't slander. Ask academic Princess Emily about her plagiarized thesis. Her porcelain doll act shattered. You bitch. P.S. Jason. I cut in. Your embezzlement files reached corporate. Enjoy prison cuisine. The smile on my face visibly enraged them. Jason noticed the fruit knife I'd deliberately placed on the table and lunged at me with it. Thankfully, I dodged sideways. I'd prepared for this. Jason had always been hot-tempered and easily provoked. Now completely unhinged, he swung the blade wildly. Emily tried intervening but recoiled when the knife nearly grazed her. Scrambling out of the apartment screaming murder. Murder. The commotion drew our neighbor, a retired Marine in his 60s. The burly man grabbed a baseball bat and charged in. Despite his age, decades of combat training showed as he disarmed Jason with 2 precise strikes. Police arrived moments later, subduing Jason and hauling him away. An officer called 911 for me. Just 2 superficial cuts on my arm and thigh required stitches. Rest up, the ER doctor said. Perfect. Every detail of my plan had succeeded. Ethan somehow heard about the incident, bombarding my phone with concerned messages before showing up at my doorstep. When work consumed him, he hired both a live-in nurse and personal chef. I'm injured, not paralyzed. I protested through laughter. He insisted. Medical care after assault charges is standard. Later, he accompanied me to police interviews and retained a top litigator to press charges against Jason. The verdict's in, Ethan announced over dinner months later. 15 years for financial fraud combined with assault. I pouted. Should have been longer. What about Emily? Expelled. Your viral post started it. But her legal entanglements sealed the deal. Freeze. Ethan suddenly ordered. My cheeks bulged with rice as he plucked a grain from my face. We burst into laughter, whether from justice served, the absurdity, or something else. My phone rang. Jessica? It's Mom. I'd hidden everything from my parents. You said you're coming home, when? Tomorrow. You couldn't drag me away. Her delighted laughter warmed the line. Hanging up. I told Ethan. I'm moving back home. Thank you, for everything. You're my best friend now. His prolonged silence broke with, we won't stay just friends. The next morning, I boarded my flight home. Mom and I wept at the doorstep until Dad gruffly herded us inside. Cry where neighbors can't gossip. Mom snapped. Let them watch. My baby's home. Even stoic Dad's eyes glistened as he muttered. Should set off fireworks. We ended in a three-way hug. Sobbing. 6 months later, Mom? Why 5 pairs? I snatched a fried meatball barehanded. Use chopsticks. She swatted my hand. You'll always baby me. Smartass. Guests are coming. When the doorbell finally rang, Dad boomed. Old Chen. It's been decades. There stood Ethan and his parents. My meatball dropped as realization struck, the 5th pair wasn't for them. Jessica. Come here and say hello to Uncle Chen. I stood up politely to greet the elder. Though I couldn't help noticing 5 pairs of chopsticks set for only 4 people. Just then, the slightly ajar door swung open to reveal a tall, familiar figure. Ethan Chen? What are you doing at my house? Mom patted my arm chidingly. Mind your manners. This is Mr. Chen's son. He's 28, a year older than you. You should call him brother. Ethan and I had been temporary high school classmates when I studied out of state. We'd gotten along decently before his transfer. Later hearing he'd gone abroad for college. I genuinely hadn't known about his family connection. No need. Ethan's fine, he said with an uncharacteristically warm smile. The brooding undertone I'd always sensed in him seemed absent tonight. After dinner, I tried sneaking out for soda, forbidden in our health-conscious household. I'll join your walk, Ethan offered, already rising from the table. Mom's oddly pleased smile followed us downstairs. At the community supermarket, I stared when he guessed my true errand. How'd you know about the soda? He simply walked toward the convenience store, leaving me to trail behind. As I savored my chilled cola, 2 bottles. Because summer demanded excess, Ethan suddenly asked, aren't you curious why I'm here today? Father's reconnecting isn't reason enough? Blind date. The soda nearly shot from my nose. With who? You. I've loved you since we were 5. My blank stare prompted him to continue. You spent an afternoon with chubby little me when others mocked my weight. Told me I could lose it with perseverance. I legally changed my name to Ethan Chen that year. Memories surfaced, the chubby boy I'd comforted. His current lean frame. Those distinctive fingers adjusting his half-rim glasses. My voice softened. You don't mind, about Jason? You ended what needed ending. His gaze held mine. When you requested that loan, I thought. Never mind. Just glad you used it wisely. Wait, the bank never contacted me about repayment because the $100,000 was personal funds. Realization dawned. The miraculously fast approval. The missing payment notices. My fingers tightened around the soda can. All this time, he confirmed quietly. Summer heat warming more than just the pavement between us. Ethan. I like you too. Let's date. I smiled into Ethan's eyes as he gazed back tenderly. Miss Jessica. Yes. It's my honor to become your boyfriend. A year into our relationship, I finally remembered to ask Ethan. How did you have $1 million to lend me back then? Weren't you just a bank teller? I was a teller. But my father happened to be the bank president. No wonder he was loaded. Turns out he was a trust fund kid. 6 months later, with blessings from both families, Ethan and I walked down the aisle. Our adorable son arrived the following year. During a lazy afternoon years later, Ethan casually mentioned, Jason got released. Already served his full 15 years? Such a shame they didn't keep that bastard locked up for life. Even now, I still maintain people like Jason deserve to rot behind bars forever. He's actually dead. What? Died in prison? Sweet surprise. Not exactly. Rumor has it he got struck by lightning the moment he stepped out of the penitentiary gates. Instant death. Collapsing into the couch cushions with laughter. I shook my head in amusement. TSK. Serves him right. This just proves people shouldn't make wicked deals or swear false oaths lightly.